Daniele Taurino from Italy, from Movimento Non Violento, which is a branch of EPCO, but I am also board member of the European Youth Forum, and then I am the portfolio responsibility for sustainability, climate justice and peace. I remember at least 3 key moments before I decided to become a non-violent activist. One is when I was 11 years old, the big march in each capital of the world against the Iraqi invasion, and I decided to not go to school and go to go to this big march in Rome. And the day after, you remember, we were the fourth power in the world. But then the war happens anyway. So this is something that at that time I didn't realize why. Then when I was 17, I started to read Gandhi books, and I said, okay, this is what maybe I had in my mind, in my heart, and is written in this book. And I started to search something more European about non-violence, and so I found the life and the works of Capitini, and I decided to call this number that I found on internet, and the current president of Movimento Non Violento answered me, and we started to talk about non-violence and the Movimento Non Violento in Italy. And then I decided for my birthday, 18th birthday, to go to Pietro Pinna, to visit Pietro Pinna in Florence, the first coscienzo objector for non-violent reason in Italy. And when I saw the precise moment that I saw his eyes, I decided, okay, this is my life too, because I saw in him this clear persuasion for non-violence. This is something that influences all your life, and so okay, this is who I am now.
Now for the war in Ukraine, especially for Europe, the first time, not first time, it was also Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
There was a mosquito there, be careful. Okay.
Capitini way. After the full-scale invasion of Russia against Ukraine, as pacifist and non-violent movements in Italy, but in all Europe, we started to be attacked after the first days. Where are the pacifists? Where are the non-violent people? On the media, national newspaper, on the media. And we already have an answer, because we already are connected with the Ukrainian pacifist movement, with the conscience objector movements in Russia, and with the peace activists in exile from the Lukashenko regime in Belarus and other countries. And so we strengthened this network, and we tried to organize a lot of initiatives, public events in Italy, big rallies, demonstration, but also we visit a lot of time Ukraine, EPSEC in general, but also from Italy a lot of peace caravan came in Italy. We also organized, I participated in one non-violent, specifically non-violent caravan to go to the conscience objector in Ukraine to strengthen the power of the Ukraine pacifist movement. And then we decided to organize a tour of 3 pacifist women, one from Ukraine, one from Russia, and one from Belarus, to show how the sisterhood of this woman could inspire the work for peace, and to show that it's possible to dialogue between this, among this population, that the war and the weapons are not the solution, because if the war was already ended, and it's not the truth, it's not the fact. So maybe we need to find an alternative. Non-violence has already a patrimony of tools, of techniques, of principles to start a negotiation, to bring positive peace for this population. And we think really from our heart that all the effort of the population, but also of the institution, should go towards this solution. This is not an easy one. It's not a game that we won and the other where will be defeat, but it's the only way to survive all together.
Italy has no conscription a lot of years now.
Yeah.
But still you have so big pacifist movement, and also for consensus objection you show so much international solidarity.
Yeah, when we started our path in Italy as a Movimento Non Violento, also before, during the fascism, Capitini was one of the non-violent anti-fascist people that also during the war at that time talk about conscience objectors. And there were, for example, from United Kingdom, but also, for example, Einstein and other famous people that show international solidarity and support for this, for clandestine work for non-violence, and then public one when we achieve democracy. And so our idea now as a country and a movement that know how we fought for conscience objector rights, to show the same solidarity, international solidarity to the branch of BECO or at an international level to the War Resistance International, to help and support concretely these movements of conscience objector in other countries. And we can support them economically, of course, especially with the donation of the Italian citizens, but also it's important to show and support them in an organizative way, because it is important to know that be a non-violent activist, be a pacifist organization, means do a lot of work, and we need to be structured. It's not something that you can learn in one day. One thing that the Martin Luther King's movements taught heavily one of us is that one of the core words of non-violence is discipline. We need to be more disciplined of the soldiers, because we have most powerful in our hands this non-violence, the power of love, but we need to know how to use to counter the war. This is one of the great things that HEPCO do every year, the annual report on conscience objector to military service in Europe. That is a really useful tool for what? For advocacy, for example, at all level, at European level, but also at our national level, as now I'm speaking as a branch of HEPCO, Movimento Non Violento, because we need to spread the voices of these conscience objectors, these young people, these activists on peace, even during the war. I say more during the war, because the difference between non-violence and jurisdictional pacifism is that we also, under the war issues, we say that non-violent resistance is possible. We say that the human rights not to be violated in any way. And so these tools show the situation in a lot of countries, and this year, of course, we are focused on Ukraine, on Belarus, on Russia, but also, you know, in Europe, Greece is, and outside Europe, Israel, Turkey, but also in countries like Italy, France, or Spain, for example. And we did this 50 years. Last year we celebrated 50 years from the law on conscience objector to military service. Now there is a war propaganda. And again, some people, and also some decision makers and politicians, talk about to reintroduce the conscription or to have more and more military expenditure. No? And it's important to say that where there is conscription, where there is more military expenditure, there are less human rights applied for the population. So this is not a matter of few people in the world, but it's a matter of human rights. That means it's a matter of all. For us, every day is conscience objector days, and the difference between activism in non-violence and rhetorical wars when war happens or something bad happens, and that we work, and the organization like HEPCO, but not only at the international level, War Resistance International, but also, for example, European Youth Forum, if we are related to youth rights, conscience objection as youth rights, we work daily basis on these issues. And after all of this organization, without a lot of resources, human and economical, will be put in comparison of all the huge and infinite resources of the industrial military complex, and also the fossil fuel lobby that influence political at the national levels, but also the European one. Conscience objector is a youth right based on UN conventions and other international documents, and also within the Youth Forum family in 2018, under the HEPCO pushing efforts, all the member organizations adopted in a General Assembly in Novi Sad in Serbia a resolution about the conscience objectors in Europe as youth right. And also now we are working on the new strategic priorities for the next 3 years, and our member organizations are discussing a lot of issues, and also the new definition of youth rights towards a UN Convention on Youth Rights, and we hope that also conscience object will be one of them to bring more peace in our